Hey, welcome back, guys. Going to talk a little bit about Steve from Boston and that guitar he's holding. Yeah. Well, it turns out you're absolutely right that I have been waiting for that guitar to finally own one, and it finally popped up, you know, on Reverb for the price, for a ridiculous price. I couldn't believe it when I saw the price that this guitar was listed for. This guitar, not including shipping, is almost $900. Now I didn't pay anywhere close to that. Not even, you know, 600. I couldn't believe the price that the seller was willing to let, but without any hesitation, I grabbed it, and it arrived the other day, and I've been kind of letting it settle into this environment. It was hot, like it was, in that UPS truck, and yeah, it was warm. The baby was warm. So, what can I say about this, man? The Vola is, it's an amazing guitar. Um, I'm gonna share RJ Regilio. He does a demo on this guitar that just fucking shreds the shit out of it. And it really comes down to, you know, the pickups. The pickups have a unique winding on them where they articulate very, very nice. And that really is the selling point of this guitar. I mean, aesthetically, it's a nice looking guitar. It's got some nice curves, interesting curves. This whole thing right here is kind of like a wave, It's kind of interesting. Um, it's a very interesting guitar. The shape. And I don't even like reverse headstocks, but I'll take an exception for this one. It's a one-piece maple neck, and it's got sort of like light amber tint to it. Definitely a medium. I don't want to say it's close to a medium jumbo frets, but not really. But and they're not super tall frets, so they're in between a medium jumbo and sort of like a firefly fret, but just a nice neck too. Really, really nice neck. Nice guitar. And right now I'm plugged into my McLaughlin suite. Let me just get readjusted here. Hold on. Okay, we're back. I just wanted to get in a better seating position. So starting off in the neck position with the McLaughlin suite, this is what we're getting. Let me turn it up a little. Very nice balance humbucker. Doesn't sound like it's got a lot of output. I haven't measured the resistance of it yet, but it has some spank. Dropping the volume a little bit. Moving on to position 2, dos. Yeah, the strings really ring out really nice. But they have character to it, you know. That's position 2. Moving on to the middle. That's the middle pickup. I mean, that's pretty fucking amazing. Like, wow. The pull pieces are pretty much flat. There's very, very minor staggering going on there, but for the most part, they're flat. But I'm sure it has to do more about the winding that gives them a lot of that character. Really, really nice. All right, how about a little bit of that neck? Open chords are good. Very chimey, I love it. Really nice. Yeah, super sweet. I like it because it's not so brittle. The highs are really balanced. It's position 4, middle. Position 2. And then the bridge. That's position 4. Back to the neck. I have been really like tearing into this guitar. It did come with 10s. I can feel it now more than ever. I thought maybe they were 9s, but that's a 10 gauge wire. I can feel it in my fingers. But super nice guitar. I just feel blessed to have the instrument, you know, and to be adding it to my collection, because I have been wanting one of these, and to actually hear for myself the actual quality of these pickups in person. And I'm not using anything spectacular, guys. Just a couple cheap monitors from Guitar Center, you know, $100 Focusrite, and some really inexpensive DSPs, and you get this really ambient stereo tones. It's hard not to want that. Now to drive that, I will just hit my $25 Behringer Ultra Distortion, which, you know, I did have a couple Boss pedals, and I fell in love with this Behringer. I thought it, for the price, I thought it did an excellent job for what I needed it to do. And I like the distortion because you can use it in a very mild way. And I've never cranked the gain up on this ultra metal distortion. It's always been halfway or less than. And the ultra metal Behringer sounds good to me, just even through the DSP. In the neck. Oh, you got that 60 cycle, huh? Let's get rid of that. holds up to what everyone talks about this guitar. It really does play exceptionally well. Dropping the volume down. Back to the bridge. Volume at 6. So that's pretty much it, guys. I just wanted to share with you a new addition to my collection of guitars. I am definitely a proud owner of the Vola. These guitars are made exceptionally well. The pickups are definitely worth their money, at $900 plus shipping. Yeah, I just didn't want to drop that kind of money. I'm used to buying other guitars that either catch me by surprise or that were in the sub $600 guitars. I have dished out money for some very, very high-end guitars in the past, but like anything, we go and we cycle through instruments, and then we end up with whatever we end up with. We just never really know, because eventually, things get sold, and then you buy something else, and blah blah blah. Speaking of, I saw an ad yesterday, of course, in Corona, California, for a Vola Oz guitar body, pennies on the dollar. It's got a real maple cap. It's got this crazy a quilted charcoal burst with loaded pickups that have a nice range. I wrote down the resistance, and looking in the back, the pots are labeled made in China, with a spring 5-way selector. Now I have no clue what the pickups sound like. I got it pennies on the dollar. The guy who sold this to me, I was under the impression he was some sort of famous rock star at his $1 million home, which he had a very nice home and was a very nice guy. And but with all the $6, $7, $8, $10,000 guitars he had, he just didn't really want this. I also got the matching neck. However, the neck was the reason why he was getting rid of it. I guess the seller on Reverb who sold this to him kind of damaged the neck. And the neck is repairable. Like, it's not going to take a lot to fix that neck. It's not like cracked crazy. It's not. It just needs a little. It needs a little work. And this guy was like, I'm done with it. I got my money back. I don't really care about it. So I scored on this Vola Oz body and Vola Oz neck. That is ebony. It's got an ebony fretboard, 22 frets, shark tooth type of inlay. Beautiful neck. It's worth the money just to take it to my guy down in San Diego. They just fix that, dude, and they will. And it would be a good guitar to flip, because I really don't know. The seller on Reverb said this was alder body, but it's too light for alder. It's ash, poplar. It's definitely not alder. I was looking in the grain here in the back, and I'm a firm believer that it's ash. It's a light ash, you know. That's kind of what I thought it was. But it is definitely a real, because I have a Warmoth guitar over here, and yeah, it's the same kind, but that's alder, and that guitar is heavy. Yeah, so this is not alder. This is definitely ash, but it's got a real maple cap. It's got like a 1/4 inch maple cap there. It's not a veneer. So this is definitely worth some bucks, and I'm gonna try and get that worked out and fix it. The last thing I wanted to mention, guys, is well, Steve from Boston was the kind of person who inspired me to get this guitar, because, you know, he's a good player. He uses strictly THU DSPs and get killer tones out of that. So that's the same guitar, the Vola. But the guy who really takes it to the next level is RJ Ronquillo, however you want to pronounce that. I'm not good with the Spanish back name, but I'll try to link his channel here, but also where he does the guitar. Like, this same guitar is just like what he does to it. But the thing I want to talk about is here in his opening video, he talks about what it takes to really kind of run a YouTube channel. My channel isn't anywhere near what RJ's about, what Steve's about, the Ball Shredder, you know, Guitar Max, you fucking name it. Like, I had this channel I created 15 years ago because I wanted to capture my journey with music as I was developing my own rhythms and playing along to backing tracks. Like, what was it that I could do to enhance a backing track? What was my vibe on it? Because every guitar player has a certain vibe that they want to play to, you know. So I used YouTube as the vehicle to capture all of this musical journey, because it's free and it gets uploaded into the cloud. So they got a fucking server somewhere, but all of your shit gets loaded up into the cloud. And as long as the world is alive and ticking with the internet, I mean, YouTube's going to be there forever. It'll be here longer than I'm alive. But in my golden years, if God permits me, I'll be able to look back at a lot of these ridiculous videos, and it doesn't really matter, because really what this is, it's a catalog of a musical journey and pictures of my life. And it didn't matter how good or how bad it was. It's a free upload of endless amount of data you can store up in the cloud. This has been stored up in the cloud for 15 years. I haven't paid a penny for this upload, you know, and I've captured a lot of unique stuff in my growing years. Now that I'm 62, you know, when I stopped doing videos, like backing track videos, I started thinking about my guitar collection and thinking, yeah, why don't I do like guitar demos of some things that I like, and why don't I just talk about guitars and my history with guitars, and maybe someone might find that informative. The real nitty gritty, no bullshit, because I'm not trying to pitch or sell anything, but since I've had so many guitars, it seemed worthwhile to talk about what I liked about a guitar, what I hated about it. But I didn't really want to consider myself an official guitar review demo kind of guy, because there's a fucking million jokers out there that are doing this shit, and it seems like any guy who buys a cheap imported guitar wants to fucking demo it, and then they're like, oh, you know, now you're a demo expert. No, it takes a lot of energy to run an official YouTube channel to have something like Steve from Boston, or what Ron is doing, or the Bald Strader. That's why they're always asking for, like and subscribe, because this is a real job. Like, this is a full-time thing. This will take up all your fucking life. I got a life and I got a real job. I don't need to do this shit. I don't want to do it. I'd rather be jamming on guitars, and working with certain musical equipment, discovering, DSPs, and having a simple interface and some cheap monitors from Guitar Center, and some simple pedals, and another backup formulated, distortion that I can use with the Yamaha here. It's really simple, and what I'm recording with is earbuds with my cell phone. Like I've done with most everything. I used to use Windows Movie Maker to upload my videos because it allowed me to do different scene, like moving from one scene to another. You can get certain things to, like, you can tell a story or something like that. Here is Ron with the Vola. I'm going to try and link this up to. This guy just ripped the shit out of this guitar. Like, I was like, fuck, I gotta get me one. And that's what I love about YouTube, is that there are some guys who are really like top of the line guitar players, and their technique is something that gets passed on. And I want to associate myself with people who inspire me to want to play. Like when I listen to the Ball Shredder, I'm not inspired to want to play. It's like, yeah, and you're not doing anything crazy, bro. I mean, it's just a lot of simple stuff that even I do. That I don't consider all that talented. We all are considered talented, but there's a level of musicianship that some of us may reach and some of us may never reach. But we should be listening to other, channels that offer something in depth rather than just the common demo guitar reviewing bullshit that just seems like everybody wants to channel. If I click on that, and then here's another guy, he's gonna do another. So it goes on and on and on and on. It's just like, and then here's another guy. Oh, I got a Vola too, and so I don't want to do that. It's very, very time consuming. Now KDH,
Inflation.
I like KDH. He's a very smart guy, very intuitive, and he comes across, very intelligent guy. This guy's smart. Great guitar player, very, very smart. I definitely want to add him to my links, because he just has a different mindset than most guitar players, because he's a very intelligent guy, and he's also kicks ass shredding guitar. There's just a lot of different types of channels that I kind of gravitate to, and I watch a lot of his videos because he's kind of separated from a lot of other people. Even the how do you pronounce his channel? The Gartistic. Fuck. Anyway, I have a link in my channel of all the guys that I kind of follow. The Guitarista guy, he's an old dude from England, and he's an awesome guy. And all that I really like about him and a lot of the guys I follow is there's some really informative information to gather from guys who are way above my scale. So when I go to like my channel here, it's like, okay, so like, why do I like this guy? The guitarologist. Well, Brad, fucking smart guy, knows how to do a lot of shit. But he's also multi-talented, great guitar player, but he's also a very intellectual kind of person. A lot of shit you can learn from somebody like that. But he's not just doing like guitar reviews to get likes. He's smart. Like he really knows his shit. So it's a very, very different from someone who's just doing guitar reviews and they're just talking about a guitar. This guy is very insightful with a lot of the stuff he's doing. So it's just like, Okay, where is this guy that I thought I put him up here? Here it is. Okay, so like, I like this guy. Yeah, I like him because he's this old dude from England. I like his accent. I kind of just stumbled on his channel one day and I started listening to him. But other than sometimes like totally bumbling around, I like his style of playing. It kind of reminds me of what's that guitar player's name? Let me think of it. And it's like I just totally got a brain fart. Uh, Crosby, Stills, and Nash. No, no, he's another guy like Neil Young. Yeah, like Neil Young. So his playing is so raw. It's kind of like a Neil Young, and But again, this guy, he is fully invested in this channel. He's got all the right equipment and lighting, and so he can do these reviews and stuff like that. Um, but again, it's his style of the review that makes it more different than a lot of other guys. And maybe it's his accent, maybe that he's an old dude, maybe that he's not a very like fucking progressive, crazy guitar player. He's got that old school Neil Young, using amps and tube amps. So he's a really down to earth type of player. But I kind of like it because it's just like he's not over the top. He's not using all this fucking digital shit. He's just raw and natural. And sometimes he'll fucking break shit and it's kind of comical. But I kind of like this old dude. And I support his channel. I think he's got a lot to talk about, and I like his personality. He's got good character. So,
Nick.
and so that's all I wanted to share. Is like, guys, I encourage any one of you out there who's even listening this far is create a YouTube channel and start recording yourself. Life is too short not to give yourself the opportunity to catalog your own personal journey, and that's really my take on all this. I started this nonsense 15 years ago, but it wasn't to have a guitar channel like why most people would have a YouTube channel. And it's really my own personal catalog of my own personal journey of the things that inspired me about guitars, and it's free. So even this video I'm making right now, it'll be up on the internet probably after I'm fucking dead for sure. So it's just a matter of time. Nobody knows the time. So it's good to look back in time and see what you did. What did you create? How did, what were, so just so many wonderful things you can capture in a video. And it doesn't take a lot, to do it. You got a cell phone? That's half of the battle right there. If you want to go the extra mile, you're talking, you're probably talking about $500 is all you really need. A DSP cost maybe $100. There's another 100. Guitar Center monitor cell and something like this is like 200. So you got to invest a little bit. You got to have an interface for do DSPs and. But DSPs they're wonderful because they really open up this stereo thing. And if you don't want to do that, then you can use a little stereo amp like the Yamaha and record with two earbuds. You see, I got an earbud there, and that's how you're hearing it in stereo. But that thing, records in stereo really, really good. And I've made a lot of videos just using that alone with my pedals. But what I'm really doing is cataloging my ideas and my emotions, given a certain day at a time, and talking about instruments and guitars. It's my passion, and adding new guitars to my collection. Like, there are just some guitars that are never going to get sold. And like this Vola is one that I have been really, really hoping to get one day, but just didn't want to spend fucking $900, man. I was like, well. So thank God, thank you, Lord. I feel really blessed to have it in my collection, and it came at the right time for me, I guess, and my golden years, my retirement years of 62. So It's nice to pick up a guitar like this. I would have never been able to afford this when I was younger, but it's just a wonderful instrument, and you get to see, and feel it and hear it, and becomes a part of you also. So it's really, really nice. I'm really happy to have this instrument. Feel blessed to have the opportunity to even play a Vola. We see a lot of shit on YouTube, but acquiring it is one thing. Like, anybody can afford a $100 piece of shit imported guitar, but it doesn't mean it's any good. That's why I'm a firm believer of the Firefly. Not every Firefly is great, but most of them are. Compared to anything else, the Firefly is the only imported guitar of this nature that I have held on to. I think they just are better than anything else. And I think recently I just bought a Leo James, one of their newest Hurricanes. It turned out to be a fucking turd. Like, honestly, don't buy that new Leo James Hurricane that they're trying to push right now, because it's bullshit. The Jelly Bee tuners on that guitar get in the way. It's totally neck heavy. It takes a lot to get a guitar like that set up. I think Guitar Max did a video on it. He had a red one, but again, he even admitted that it took him a lot longer to get that guitar in a playing condition. So just because it's cheap don't mean shit. And that guitar only lasted a half hour and it went back. And then you got this whole Enya thing coming out, and everyone wants to do a demo on the Enya. You just got to stick to really what works with you. Things that will really inspire you to play guitar, because you can end up watching a lot of demos and not get very far with your own musical journey, So don't let these guys steal your thunder. Take it out, build your own channel, make your own thing, whatever it is. This was a good guitar player right here, and he didn't have a lot going on, but they did it was a good jam they did right here. This is a band like out of England. From the UK, So what was good about that video is, in the studio, how they captured their recording to be so professional, where it didn't sound like shit in that room, with all of everybody so close with the guitar and the drums and the bass. But when you listen to that mix, it's like, wow, they really have it down to a science, and you can make professional music even with a small confined room. So again, lesson learned when you're watching certain videos, that things can't be accomplished. You just have to. Anyway, I'm rambling. Sorry, guys. Anyway, have a blessed week and take care as always.